So picture this. You walk into the arcade with a bunch of friends and see a brand new shiny cabinet from SNK Playmore called King of Fighters Sky Stage. You watch the introduction and pop your tokens in expecting another great fighting game from SNK, and instead, after hitting the start button, you get a shoot 'em up game. Yep, this is SNK's first attempt at taking King of Fighters characters and putting them in a shoot 'em up environment. The game has now been ported over to the PSP as Neo Geo Heroes Ultimate Shooting. How does this stack up and how does it play? Well, here we go. So this actually isn't the first time I've heard about King of Fighters Sky Stage. I actually read about it in one of my favorite Japanese gaming magazines, Arcadia, which covers all the current arcade machines in Japan. I opened it up and I saw King of Fighters Sky Stage and was wondering, what in the heck is this and how does this work? How does King of Fighters translate into a shooting game? Well, Neo Geo Heroes on the PSP is actually 2 games in one. It of course has the original King of Fighters Sky Stage in it, but it also has the Neo Geo Heroes portion, which means you get characters from Metal Slug and a variety of other characters. So let's go ahead and take a look at this game and you'll see how it kind of works and how it doesn't. And a lot of people feel that this game is just exploiting the actual licenses of SNK just so they can get another game out. I'll let you guys decide that for yourself, but here's my review of it. So let me try and answer your first question right away. How in the hell can these characters fly now? Your guess is as good as mine. I can't understand enough of the Japanese dialogue in the game to grasp that concept if it's even explained. Regardless, you fly and you can shoot things, just like any shoot 'em up. The gameplay, like I said, is pretty simple. Shoot things and don't get shot yourself. You have 3 buttons, 1 for shooting, 1 for your ultimate technique, and finally 1 for your bomb. The ultimate technique requires you to charge your burst meter in order to pull off the move. The more powerful the meter, the better your burst move is. I can make a really bad joke that Mai is always bursting, but I won't, for now. This game does have a lot of content to it, which is good because it allows you to come back and play it more for a good amount of replayability. There's a standard story mode that consists of about 15 stages. Depending on what character you are, the ending can be different, and the levels themselves have different branching paths, so your experience can be different every time you play through it. There's also a challenge mode where you defeat bosses in endless battles, and there's also a criteria mode where you're having to get goals accomplished in order to move on to the next stage. You can do some multiplayer with the wireless connection. As I mentioned before, it does feature the original King of Fighters Sky Stage, and there's also a museum mode where you can check out the artwork for the game, listen to the music, as well as see the background for some of the characters and why they're doing what they're doing in this game, if you can read Japanese. The option menu does have one handy feature, and that is the fact that you can expand the actual play view to whatever way you want on your PSP. You can have it the standard way if you're holding your PSP in the normal fashion, or you can rotate it so it looks in a vertical format, and you can see a better and bigger play view, though the control's a little weird on that in my opinion. So now that we got the basics covered, let's talk about the graphics. They're really nothing special, and I've seen much better on the PSP. Honestly, the graphics in this game look more suited to something that the iPhone can handle rather than what the PSP is actually capable of. The art in the game does look fantastic though. In the sound department, the in-game sound effects are a bit weak. The explosions just don't seem to have the thump to them that they need. The music, however, is absolutely fantastic with a great mix of metal and electronica. This soundtrack pumps and is one of the game's best features. The developers must have knew this as well because they did include the music jukebox for you in museum mode, so you can listen to those awesome metal and electronica tracks at your heart's desire. Since I already explained what the 3 attack buttons do, the control for this game is responsive and pretty accurate. You'll find that if you use the PSP nub, however, that your movements will be a lot more accurate than using the standard PSP D-pad. Overall, this game won't break any new barriers in terms of gameplay mechanics for shoot 'em up. In fact, many fans of the genre will most likely find this game to be pretty bland. Even playing through the game a few times, I still just couldn't grasp the concept of why these various SNK characters can fly. I give Neo Geo Heroes 3 out of 5 stars. It's not a bad game by any means, it's just pretty mediocre in the world of great shooters. This has been another episode of Gamer Logic. Have a good one, guys.